From quantlabs.net. Well, we finally got the cryptocurrency course together. Here's the first outline. Just wanted to go over the outline, what will be happening. There will be an accessible video series with source code and such as what I described here. On top of, I'm hoping to do an entire live boot camp for anybody who wants to join. And I'll come out with videos with that later on in a future date. So keep your eyes out for that. So let's talk about the course itself. It's cryptocurrency, folks, an algo trading system, infrastructure components with Python. It's a practical tutorial for Python developers. I did one a few years ago, but this one is focusing on current version of Python 3. So I'm moving everything into Python 3 now. So let's talk about or break it all down. So the idea is to discover the secrets behind trading infrastructure components, high-speed in-memory, NoSQL database options, cryptocurrency exchanges, and simple technical indicators and more, and how you can use these techniques in your Python code. So here's a brief description of the course. As Bitcoin ruled the financial news cycle in recent times, many have had a peak interest in cryptocurrency along with systematic trading. There are many advanced trading research techniques, including machine learning, AI, or quant. This course was created for a newbie who has a basic understanding of popular programming languages, but easy to learn, such as Python. A focus of technical analysis was chosen since it's popular among retail traders. It also seems to offer more predictable results as opposed to harder to learn concepts such as quant or machine learning. In essence, a simpler with more effective techniques were purposely chosen to get somebody with programming knowledge or basic programming knowledge, as in Python, to get ramped up faster. It is very hopeful any student will become more confident in their capabilities to complete this without any unnecessary complexities that usually hold back their success. And who's the target audience? Well, we're looking at Python programmers, including data science, who want to understand algo trading techniques and apply them into a primitive automated trading system. Also, it's targeted towards pro or retail traders who have an interest in learning the basics of Python and systematic trading. Now, here's the key features. Infrastructure, modern components, implementation for an algo trading system. Forgive my really bad grammatical errors here, as well as any typos. This is the first cut of this video and of this outline. Second key feature, basic coverage of cryptocurrency, Python packages, and cryptocurrency exchanges. And technical analysis library package used for strategy idea development. Now, here's the approach. There's videos and sample Python source code scripts are made available at time of presentation. Note that scripts are meant to be small and simple for easiest consumption. Advanced techniques are stripped out to ensure completion of this course. This can be used as a launching pad to understand the components of a primitive algo trading system. In short, it is devised in a way to get you up and running as quickly as possible. Here's what you'll learn. Major components in any trading system, broker and asset class options, how cryptocurrency, as in Bitcoin, has become a hotbed of profit potential. Strategy coding, basics to help in analyzing using popular technical analysis techniques. All software mentioned is open source with the exception of one, Chart Director, which is used for visualization. I'll go over that in a little bit. Don't need to go over me. I'm sure you know who I am. So here's a summary of the content. Why Python for my algos and automated trading? Which tools for development and why Python over other programming languages. Intro to NoSQL for highest performance in your systematic algo automated trading. Cryptocurrency exchange overview and an overview of a pretty killer Python package called CCXT. We also offer crypto idea generation using forward-looking data as similar to financial institutions who analyze and trade popular altcoins, including Bitcoin. We also show you how to read exchange data with flat files, coverage of trading charts with Chart Director and using a TA lib, or technical analysis library, like package popular for technical analysis for strategy development. Okay, so here's the roadmap. We've got 11 sections here. I think it's 11. So it's all based around a video. And again, these are compact with small and easy bite-sized consumption chunks to get you up and running. So the first section we cover is basically the programming language overview. It's a 28-minute video, covers the pros and cons of each language you may come across in your journey with algo automated trading. I also list items you will need to consider when you want to do live trading as well, using concepts of high-frequency trading, better known as HFT. I cover 5 languages: R, Python, Java, C#, .NET, C, C++, and MATLAB. So section 2. So as we move in, we have Python tools and methodology. 43-minute video. Again, coding samples will be provided with each section. So here we cover all elements of Python 2 and 3, including a high-level hello world example. It's just to show the difference between 2 and 3, really. Also covers from a newbie's point of view on non-essential Jupyter and machine learning packages. In there in more detail, as I said, we cover the difference between 2 and 3 of Python. We cover pip, the package manager, Python install options on whatever operating system you choose, tools like popular editors or IDEs, or better known as integrated development environments. A clear example that I use is Sublime. I show you simple debugging techniques and very high-level concepts of popular machine learning frameworks and Jupyter use cases. Okay, so we move into section 3. So now I'm offering options on how to capture market data. 28-minute video. There's different options for market data, including free versus paid. So I cover most recently IEX, IKeyFeed, LMAX, and Interactive Brokers overview and options. I then cover the one I choose to use for myself is Duca's Copy Forex, CFD broker, and using a Duca's Python package called Duca. I also introduce a faster way to get data by creating comma-separated value files using JForex, which is the platform from Duca's Copy, and I clearly have to use Java because that's what they support only. So that's the only other language you'll see with this one simple example in Java. Everything else is Python. Okay, so then the next section we cover is how to use Pandas data frame to manipulate data. Now, I use data frames through and throughout a lot of my development. I just like that data structure. Works really well. And it's a simple script that I show which does the following. It reads the CSV, or comma separated value file, which is generated up here using Duca, that Python package. We apply some basic statistical calculations and manipulate rows. And then from there, we are able to export data to CSVs or Excel format. So the next section we cover is a demo and technical analysis indicators. This is a 7-minute video. What I found was that the TA library written in C or C++ was quite complicated, and it takes a long time to build. So a lot of newbies struggle here. Also, I recently found that the TA Python package is buggy. So I just found another better alternative, and it is enclosed everything into one script with no dependencies. So it's a much simpler approach with, I'll call it TA lib-like behavior and indicators that you can use. It's simpler, and I'm running various indicators. So some of the examples that I show in this script: Bollinger Band, exponential moving average, standard deviation, and relative strength indicator. So then we move on to the database. I choose Redis. It's a NoSQL option. And this is not a requirement, but it's something that you could consider. It's a 30-minute video, NoSQL database of choice, why this is used, open source, and offer benchmarks. compared against other an open source HFT project. So this HFT project benchmarks and uses Redis as a comparison itself for performance. That's how fast Redis is. So I go over the server and client edition of Redis, very simple stuff, and then show you some Python coding demos. Now, the next section, we start to move into cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency can be a different type of beast because it's unregulated and a lot of exchanges come and go, and there's now regulation that changes all the time, so who knows? So I try to keep this very simple, but always remember this was at the point of recording. So in this section, I show you how to potentially fund your own cryptocurrency account, offer options to fund via bank credit card or use anonymous credit card. What's been happening right now throughout the globe, a lot of banks are no longer allowing you to fund credit card, with cryptocurrency exchanges with credit cards. So you're starting to move into this anonymous techniques. So I looked at some services out there. Now remember, what's legit or what not is something to be very cognizant of, but I try my best to make sure that they're somewhat legit. So again, as I said, that these options that I show can be removed, become invalid, or changed without notification. So there's different credit card option sources that I show. Why banks are now blocking cryptocurrency via credit card. So it's becoming more difficult to fund an account with cryptocurrency. And there is some roundabout services that you can use to fund anonymously via credit card. But again, this is where it gets, we'll just leave it the word questionable. Once you get all that set up, the next step is to look at the cryptocurrency outlook using a Python package called CCXT. It's a 20-minute video. It's one of the best, probably the only Python package that I like, which comes with other programming language options, but Python is the one, obviously, that we'll use and is probably the most popular. So there are working examples with no registration needed for some of the popular exchanges. So first thing I introduced, which is important, is coinmarket.com to show a volume and which exchanges to use based upon volume for liquidity purposes on your orders to get proper fills. I try to go over some of the reliable exchanges at the time of recording, and I show examples of why Python over the other web programming languages. Those include PHP and JavaScript. And then, as I said, we work on working examples of CCXT. So the next section is something that you probably don't hear a lot about, cryptocurrency trading ideas with forward-looking data tips for your trading idea. This is this is how a lot of institutional traders do it, is using forward-looking data. So I'm going to show you how to source those out in an 11-minute video. So what I do is, there are a set of ideas that you can use for forward-looking data. And forward-looking data is important because you don't want to look at past data or current data. You want to look at what the institutions are using to gauge potential performance of Bitcoin in the future. So there's some techniques or utilities that you could use, something called an NVT ratio. I go over sources for using futures and options market, COT, which is commitment of trader reports, and again, if you can, using coinmarketcap.com. All right, so this is the last section we'll go over, the intro to chart director for Python. Historically, I've used Matplotlib. I have used and looked at Seaborn. I just find that the data and manipulation of the dates is really tough in the free options of visualization Python packages, including the popular ones. So I just decided to make it simpler on a commercial product for like 150 bucks. You get the chart director for Python. So they offer, it's a C++ library, but it connects into a variety of languages. So there's many options here. I'll go over them. So it's an overall demo of the features and how to install the commercial chart director for Python. show how to install it on Mac, and quite potentially on Linux or Unix-like systems. Advantages over other open source Python packages, including, as I said, Seaborn or Matplotlib. What are the real benefits of using Chart Director over other charting packages in Python? I'm looking at hints of using interactive self-standalone charting with the potential of live charting. But again, we focus only on Python, but there are some other options available, but they're really in C++ with the Qt framework, if you are going to stay off of Microsoft technologies. And that, again, Qt can run on any major operating system, including Mac and Linux. And one thing I need to make you understand is that the charts are generated through the operating system's console terminal. So there's no self-standalone options I will show you for the interactive. That's usually done through JavaScript, and it can be done. And just for me, I'm not all that interested to show you that because, again, we want to focus on Python. As I said earlier, we're stripping out all the complexities that you don't need to see, and the idea is to get you to complete this course. So everything is on the product, like here the chart director or other based upon the Python packages that I offer as what to use. And the examples, as I said, are relatively basic. I don't go too deep into it. And again, I want you to finish the course because it's easy to get overwhelmed. And once you complete it, you should be pretty confident in being able to build out a very primitive algo trading system, which obviously works in your benefit. Now, what are the requirements of the hardware for successful completion of this course? Students will require computer systems with at least the following. You can pretty well do it on any operating system. I'll talk about that in a minute. Processor can be minimal. That's a nice thing about Python. Memory, you could probably do as little as 2 gig, but you probably would need 2 gig to really kind of get around it. For instance, so if you are using Windows, I do recommend you use VirtualBox software to create your virtual machine to set up a Ubuntu Linux if you have to stay on Windows. Storage is fairly minimal, but this is what I recommend. For optimal experience with hands-on labs and other practical activities, we recommend the following configuration. Now, for the operating system, pretty important. I prefer, my top pick will be Mac OS. Then we get into Linux. If you are new, I would highly recommend to do everything on Ubuntu. It's built for ease of use and get you up and running. There are other better options out there for Linux, and even if you decide to go into more advanced outside even Linux, we'll just leave it at that. And then my last preference is Windows. I talk about that through and through. I'll just leave it. If you can use either of these, that's the better way. But if you have to use Windows, as I said, there is a free option available to download the free VirtualBox and set up, again, free Linux with Ubuntu Linux. So those are your options on the operating system. Again, processor doesn't really matter. Again, memory requirements the same. Storage, you're probably looking around 12 gig, should get you going. Even 16 gig should be okay if you go with the VirtualBox option for Windows. Software requirements, well, we've gone over the operating system, browser, pretty well anyone. Now, obviously, I'll show you how to download and use 2.7 or 3x, and then the preferred development tool I use for editor is Sublime. And then, of course, I have links in the installation at the time that I present those sections. So that's pretty well the course. This is just the detail. If you are interested in doing this, keep your eyes peeled on my social media, on Facebook, YouTube, as well as my email list. I will be making this making it available at some point. I'm not sure when, but these are the topics that will be covered, as well as I will be offering a live boot camp of this. But when you total up the videos, the total is around 3.5 hours. So You probably could do the boot camp in 4 to 5 hours. I've done one as long as 5 hours. Yes, it is intensive, but it can be done in a very short period of time. But of course, you'll have the videos made available on demand when you need them, as well as the source code. Again, this is built to keep it short and sweet to get you get through this and set up your own foundation of a controlling your own destiny instead of relying on wonky retail trading platforms. And this is using Python, which is right now probably the third most popular programming language out there. And this will get you jump started pretty quick. Hopefully you enjoy this, and let me know what you think. Got questions, get in touch with me. If you, as I said, interested in getting access to this, let me know, and we'll get you answers and where to go to continue the conversation. As I said, hopefully you liked it, and we'll talk soon.